Greetings to all my highly sensitive, hypersensitive, receptive, uh, hard-faced, misunderstood, mysterious, introverted, philanthropic or philanthropist, uh, human beings. I want to make this video, man, about what it's like to be an empath, what it's like to uh, what an empath basically goes through daily. You know what I mean? In my experiences growing up, man, I suffered a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? I suffered more emotional turmoil than anything. Yes, uh, I was a young, spoiled uh, kid. I was, come from a home where my mother was physically abused. Uh, I saw a lot of things, man. I grew up with a lot of anger, a lot of resentment, a lot of bitterness. Uh, One of them is because of the fact that I had to see my mom go through what she went through. To this day, I still remember how my mom was, handled. Um, just give me a moment, man, because it's like it's just so much that I want to talk about because a lot of highly sensitive people, such as myself, we go through a lot, and we're highly misunderstood. I was highly misunderstood growing up. You know what I mean? Um, to the point of me questioning things. I mean, I question life. I question stuff like God. I wanted to know about God. I wanted to know about, the origin of man. I wanted to know about uh, my purpose. I wanted to know about the origin of the universe. I was a deep thinker. And I went through, some of the teachings, of the Nation of Islam, the 5% Nation. I read a variety of books. You know, I've read some books on Elijah Muhammad, especially books on how to eat to live. Um, just a lot of stuff, man. You know what I mean? I wanted answers, and I wasn't really being fulfilled. I wasn't getting, what I was looking for. Um, some of y'all that, and this is not a video for black people. This is a video for all who are like myself. You might be a Mexican, you might be Puerto Rican, you might be of Jamaican descent, you might be American, you might be white, you might be black, you might be Venezuelan, you might be whatever. But the thing about it is, there's going to come a point in time in your life that you are going to undergo hardships. See, I went through the hardship emotionally, seeing the things I saw in my household. And the process doesn't stop there because the universe, for one, has a purpose for you. The universe may put you or allow a certain situation or a circumstance to help not break your physical, but toughen you up spiritually, morally, psychologically, and emotionally. And in my frustrations growing up, I had issues in high school. I was put out of class for asking deep questions. I wanted to know things. Why I felt this way, why I felt that way. You couldn't sell me bullshit because I saw things from a mile away and I could smell bullshit. Why am I, you know, pledging allegiance to a flag? Not saying that I'm anti the country, but I was, learning about how, you know, this country was built by prisoners of war. Some call them slaves. Some were, African Americans, Native Americans, Aboriginal people. So I started reading. I wanted to know things. I'd ask the teacher would put me out of the classroom. There's so much. So I became somewhat of a rebel. Everybody was partying on Friday night after, I went to Elsick High School in Houston. I was at the house trying to learn about slavery, learn about a lot of things. I wanted to know about how the Caribbeans became the Caribbeans. I started learning about how the Aboriginal people in those areas that they call like Trinidad, Venezuela, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, Cuba, all of them are of African descent. And you see some of them today, some of them, they look more Spaniard looking or look more white looking, but they're still melanated. And, I was looking at the fact that I was being misinformed and miseducated in school. So it was more of an indoctrination. I started questioning things. They did not like that. So eventually, I was kicked out. I eventually picked up and finished my education. But the process still continued. I was out and about, you know, still the same way. I got frustrated, started hanging with the wrong type of individuals, bought me a gun for $200, a 9mm Beretta, and I went on a robbery spree. Make a long story short, I got caught up and put in prison for 25 years in 1996 for armed robbery. Plus, I was also on probation for burglary of a habitation. Did I learn my lesson? You goddamn right I did. Every day. So, while I was in prison, you talk about the emotional torment and drainage that I went through. It was every day. I had to deal with bad energy every day. I was very receptive I was always tired. I was always irritable. You know, and how did I deal with that from 1996 to 2011? What I did was I trained and I worked out. Now, let me explain to you what what it was like to be an empath in prison. In prison, you say you think it's bad out here. It's actually uh the same way. The only thing is it's more physical in there. It's more physical bondage. Out here you have liberation. See? But here is a little bit more worse because people out here are programmed to be a certain type of way or think a certain type of way. And I had to fight against that in prison. But, not to get off course, what was it like to be in prison every day as a highly sensitive person? Wow. For some of y'all that are empaths, you have no fucking idea. I promise you on everything I love. But you know something? I came out the victor. I was the oddball. Because I didn't smile much, something was wrong with me. I go through the same thing out here. Oh, he's antisocial. He's crazy. I go through the same thing out here. See? I done been lied on. I done been talked about. I done been set up. The only thing that never happened to me was I never got my ass whooped in prison. And when I say highly sensitive, I'm not saying sensitive to the point where you boo-hoo, cry, oh, he hurt my feelings. No, not like that. It's more like you come to me. I mean, you go, it's like this. When I went to the rec yard, you got the machine weights outside. You got different groups. You got Crips, Bloods, GDs, Vice Lords, Nation of Islam, TS, Mexican Mafia, Tango Blast, RU, Mexicles, did I say Black Panthers? Well, if I did, I did. You know, but I was the oddball. I was a loner. You know, I didn't mess with nobody at all because I've always been the introvert. What happens is like out here years ago when I started interacting with the wrong crowd and became a follower, thought I was big man, got me a 9mm Beretta, thought I was gangster, got caught up, and as a result, the situation that I experienced, the universe allowed it to take place to help not just spank me, but to purge me from within and make me into a better person. So, what was the process? The process was learning how to identify certain energies. Give you an example. If something was about to happen, for some reason, my stomach, I would feel like I'd have to use the restroom. It might be bad news. So, for example, I wanted to go to the rec yard. You know that inner voice or whatever said, "Don't go." So I said, I'm gonna go in and work out up in here, man. I just sit down, reminisce a little bit, and then lo and behold, a stabbing took place on the rec yard. That's an example of what it's like to be an empath, because empaths can pick up on bad energy. They can, what they call them, I think premonitions or something. I don't know. No. See, in prison, I didn't know about the empath, the term. I learned about it when I came home because I've always wanted to know why is it I felt a certain type of way. In prison, I had dreams of seeing serpents. Uh, I consulted a little book that, for some reason, I got, and the book indicated that serpents represents enemies. I was surrounded by enemies. Be very careful. That's one of the reasons why was extremely introverted. People would come to me. I didn't like people touching me because when you touch somebody, or you rub up against people, that you pick up energy. Not, it's like they didn't understand. I punched the dude in his mouth for literally, running up in my face. And I'm not advocating violence, but it's like, you just don't know, man. I was surrounded by individuals that posed as they were straight hardcore, but they were straight up flaming faggots. I have more respect for an individual that wears Kool-Aid on his face, okay, than the person that looks like me or looks like 50 Cent. See? I can pick up when a person was gay. I can pick up when a person, for one, I could feel when a person was watching me. Okay? The mother of my child, before she wrote me and told me that she was doing her thing outside, I saw it in a vision. My mother, for one, was born with a veil over her face. My mother, as well as great-grandmother, for one, were quote-unquote somewhat psychic. There was times where, like, I'd get in a crowd and experience low energy. I'd have to get away. When I'm by myself, I'm fully recharged. The only way, you know, another way for me to be fully recharged, I would have to interact with people who were like-minded, and it's only a selected few. Not everybody. It's not, a color thing, or it's not a physical thing. It's an energy thing. It's an auric wave or vibration that people, for one, put out. If it's bad energy, I have to get away from you. If it's energy that causes me to be mad or frustrated or depressed or irritable, if you there was times where I would be talking to a person on the phone, and the person, for one, would be like, they'd just be talking, and the energy, I'd get tired. All of a sudden, when the phone hang up, I'm like, oh, man, I just yawn. That's empath. Straight up. There was times where I wanted to know certain things about certain individuals, but it would always come in the form of, I would always see a person's face in a dream. And it wasn't a good dream at all. So what I would do, to this day, certain individuals do not realize why I stay away from them. It's not that because I feel like I'm better than you. It's because of the shit that you carrying. It's like you people like that, I liken them or compare them to straight hot garbage. Who the hell wants to smell shit all day? I know you don't. I don't. You know what I mean? You can't explain the experience or what you experience to people, for one, who have limited, finite thinking. I could have joined the Nation of Islam. I could have joined a lot of these so-called pro-black organizations, but you know why I haven't joined? Because it's not for me. Because I'm bigger than that. I'm not going to look. In some of my videos, I've talked about Caucasians, this, this, that. It would appear that I'm prejudiced, because prejudice means to judge before the fact or have preconceived notions. We can't classify all Caucasians the same way. Just like you can't sit up and say that all black people by nature are righteous. Bullshit. Before Caucasians ever came on this planet, black people or melanated people already had problems. Some of us, for one, were highly elevated. Some of us, for one, had issues with ego. You go into the Caucasian community, you have people who are empaths, who are psychics, who are clairvoyant, who go through the same shit. See? You live in a society, for one, where even in prison, the blacks against the browns against the whites against the blacks. But how I played my role, I was over here. I was watching people riot over TV. They control the inmates through the TV. If y'all don't sit down, we'll rack it up. I didn't care about the TV because the TV is the number one tool in prison as well as out here in the world, that one of the tools that they use to control and manipulate the mind of people. I may look at a little power every now and then, or look at a little bit of WWE. But as far as me relying on the TV for education and getting my source of information, I don't do that. Because that is how they control you psychologically. I was more into trying to figure out and find out why I was feeling the way I felt. And as a result, I've been angry. I've been resentful because I wasn't getting the answers I wanted. Huh? I dated women out here, even got married. My wife is the opposite of me. She's more into going with the flow. You know what I'm saying? I'm more into understanding why things are the way they are. I'm more into my diet, what they're putting in the water to control people. I'm more into avoiding the TV. I'm more into not going to the church house. Basically, I'm more into education and enlightenment versus being programmed and indoctrinated. Okay? And it's been like that all my life. Where I fucked up at is when I started messing with the wrong type of individuals. If I didn't go to prison, I would have killed somebody or got myself killed. I sold drugs. The one thing that I didn't do, two things I didn't do to this day, and I'll be 46. I've never smoked weed. I've never done any drugs or done alcohol. I did what I did was because I did what I did because I wanted to be accepted. I was looking for answers. I didn't get what I was looking for, so I said, fuck it. I'm from Queens. I'm from New York City. I'm going to go kick it with these dudes from Brooklyn, Queens. You know what I'm saying? Da-da-da-da-da. I was on that gangster shit. But the universe said, So, things, when God got a plan for you, and I'm not talking about the religious God. I'm talking about the universe. When the universe or force has a plan for you, nothing can touch you. You'll find out who you are when you fall on your face. I have a proverb that I came up with, and it goes like this. When you're at your last, you're at your greatest. What does that mean? When all else fails, when everything is taken away from you, in prison, that's how I felt. So people would like wonder, this motherfucking dude here, man, he get up every day, man, and he working out and da-da-da-da-da. Because I found a way, to cope with the bullshit that I was dealing with, Ebony, all that negative energy. Did I feel drained? Yes. I drank coffee every day. Black. Trained on an empty stomach. I still apply those principles out here to this day. But if I interact with an individual, some family members also, me and my mother's supposed to be like this, in which we are, but it's just some things that we don't agree with. If you hold on to things 50, 30 years ago, and you talk about it over and over again, it stinks. Nobody wants to smell it. I'm not going to allow or give my energy, or I'm not going to allow this system surrounded by a bunch of zombies to control me, to have me walking around looking like a zombie. You ever ask yourself, you ever look at yourself or look at people around you every day, everybody's like this here? Every day. But that's another topic, man. That's all a part of the mind control. This right here is a little miniature sized computer. That's the level I'm on. You know what I mean? The level I'm on too, like when I see Black Lives Matter and I see white people and all of that, you have to understand it's not them that you need to be worried about. You need to be worrying about who's funding them. Straight up and down. Nation of Islam. Yeah, Nation of Islam does have a lot of interesting topics. See? But I'm also learning that there was a white man, I think his name is H.L. Hunt, who funded Elijah Muhammad. But that's another story. Okay? It's all a bunch of bullshit, a bunch of games, man. White people against black people against white people. Hell, you had Scots against look at the movie Braveheart. That's a true story. The Scottish against the English against the Scottish. So you have to separate yourself from the bullshit and realize that you, as an empath, you are the highest of the highest. There's a reason for that. There's a reason that you're going through hell. There's a reason for when you could feel these things and you could see some of these things. Some of y'all are healers. Some of y'all by your very presence itself can heal a broken heart. Sometimes it may be a smile. Sometimes that empath might be full of fire. Sometimes that empath might be uh his he or she may have righteous anger, or which is indignation, or an anger aroused by things unjust. Okay, that empath doesn't see black, white, red, yellow. He's retarded. She's sound. He's whole. No, the empath essentially sees him or she in that individual, because essentially all of us are the same. But that empath can't deal with hot garbage. See? That empath, for one, has to be fully recharged. That empath, for one, daily. That empath, for one, he or she, their duty basically to humanity is to help clean up humanity. Of course, we're gonna experience a lot of turmoil. I went through hell, through prison, but I didn't come out of prison up, straight up screwed up in the head. I just looked at the fact that I went through there as a rock and came out a diamond. Plus, a diamond plus. And it's not about physical fitness training. It's not even about that. It's about fighting these negative forces that we are all surrounded by. See? You ever sit up, man, and just all of a sudden involuntarily cry? Then come to find out it was somebody, close to you, or something that you can't see. That's an empath. During prayer or meditation, and I've experienced this a bunch of times, where you feel like you're in the presence of forces. If it's like a burning sensation and it's coming like right up in here, that's your spirit moving around, being kindled. If it's cold and you feel uneasy, that's a spirit. I've been dealing with this shit for years, but I couldn't figure it out. And some of y'all know what I'm talking about, man. And it doesn't stop there. We in school. Because one day, soon, it might be now. Because the world, for one, is looking for guidance. These religious leaders, these so-called religious leaders, they're not teaching the people about the power within themselves. They just want you to put the money in the basket. School is not interested in teaching people how to think. School is interested in teaching people how to accept, receive, uncritically. See? Because when you have humanity asleep, you have businesses that flourish, like cancer and AIDS and all of these diseases. They're a business. You think a real doctor is going to tell you what you need to be doing. See? But me, as a clear thinker, a critical thinker, and a sensitive person, I know that I need to be eating things that help with the chakras and the pineal gland. I need to stop eating excessive amounts of meat. I need to eat things that contain sunlight, real vitamin C, chlorophyll. Eat things to purge my liver. Eat things to detox my body so I can be in tune with nature. The system in which we live in is not interested at all to make you free. The system in which we live in is to make you a psychological slave. I look at people on Monday, they walk around, they're looking like this here. But come Friday, everybody's like this here. How you doing? Oh God. Oh man, you have a nice weekend. And me, I play along. Yeah. I know this dude here, he don't like mayates. I know this guy right here, he don't like peckerwoods. I know this guy right here, he don't like goddamn niggers. Right? But on Friday, we cool though, right? Get the fuck out of here, man. You know what I mean? Just keep walking. Because y'all bad energy. Y'all some hypocrites. Meaning one who feeds what he or she is not. Straight up. So, the thing about it is, man, people see me every day. Oh, man, you need to smile more. Smile for what? If you saw what I saw and felt what I felt every day, you'll understand. I just want people to do, I want bullshit people to do is stay away from me. If you on some positive shit, let us come together and change the world. I don't care what color you are. I want to be able to help people, man. You know what I mean? I don't want to be, constantly, walking around. I want people to get to know me, not as, you're an ex-felon. Okay. So, you know what I'm saying? I've been to prison. I'm not afraid to tell nobody I've been to hell. Yeah. But guess what? You more in prison than I am, psychologically. You can get up on Christmas Day and go spend $100-something. Or better yet, not Christmas Day. If you can get up on the holidays and spend a shitload of money, you are a slave. You've been programmed to walk a certain way, and you don't even know. You don't even have the slightest idea what's going on. See? You think the powers that be is interested? You think they're interested in you knowing the truth? They're not behind closed doors. They're not celebrating none of that shit because they know it's all about business. Easter is supposed to be about Jesus Christ, right? And you got more people, for one, worrying about a fucking suit. Hundreds of dollars. Huh? What about finding out the origin of Easter, where it all come from? Christmas. I bet you some of you don't even know, about the months, where they all come from. Like Julius Caesar. The word July refers to Julius Caesar, Augustus Caesar, August, Octavius Caesar. October. See? Because when you went to school, they didn't tell you that. And you didn't take it upon yourself to delve in and ask questions. That's the level I was on. Because I felt that something wasn't right. Every day! Yeah. So I came out and I realized something. I went from another prison to another prison. Watch the movie Matrix, man. I keep telling people over and over again, you need to watch the movie Matrix. And it'll kind of give you understanding on why I feel the way I feel. I'm not on psych meds. I'm not crazy. I'm not nothing. You know, I volunteered to go to MHMRA, if I'm pronouncing it right, to see if I was literally crazy. The only thing I said, I was a schizophrenic psychopath or some bullshit. Schizophrenic, but I'm none of that. Because I'm interacting with people who are going through the same shit. I could probably count on 3 fingers people I've met that's going through the same thing I'm going through. Because they see it. Some of y'all see energy. Some of y'all see spirits. Some of y'all have weird dreams. Some of y'all can feel things when it's not right. You are selected, chosen, anointed, or whatever. And you play a part. Some of y'all may be called light workers, high priest, brotherhood of light. Don't let it go to waste. You are here for a purpose. Keep your head up. Be strong. Look at me. I survived 15 years. Day for day. I made it. Yeah. If you can survive here, if you can do this, well, for me, if I survive, I say this, if I could survive what I survived up in there, I know I could survive this. You feel what I'm saying? Anyway, y'all, if this video applies to you, please apply it. Please utilize it. If it doesn't apply to you, please move on. Because this is only for a selected few. Holla.